Fuck yeah, let's do this. I'll play the pain stick. 9 million leaseholders stab your patio candle. I was second youngest and used for wood, a uniquely American anatomy problem, finding Nana doubling as a muscle pylon. It was bad, and you can't want that dangled up in your hang. He says, I don't need to huff glue and stare in mirrors to feel good about myself. I'll just dig out my Amiga and see if it plugs, and admit that into the story's arrangement. I will exit the cabin and forage for grubs. You just stay here and vote for Dukakis. He says he prefers that I remove his teeth, then fondle their bulkage with increasing smoothness, playing the quiet game taken for a sucker to be starved, swapping cuddles for truck rides to the weekly blood draw. I can't say it was my favorite instant, badging saddlebags with myself in the face, but I like to play it hot and disengaged, plead the belly like a true regent needs to. And really, you could have that job too, easy, motion captured out of puppy boards, opening animals and the hands of the youth with limp plasticware in the next stall. I've decided that I'm like a Virgin Mary statue gumming the bush with some blind you claws. Imagine that streaming into the erotic capital of pageant slop. Just another way to adjust my slums while our nephews faceplant for the better part of a quartic hour, and you cock thy pistol, woofing what's chunky. Yeah, that's a bunch of flesh-eating beans to deal with, mister, cursed thus by old hickory, splayed across sweet Domer with the trots and burns necessary to name a successful elk hunt. The bad words tend to resow our conviction. No one wants to lick your finger but will be responsible for the twitch it leaves, displuming my zone with the bailable can. And whose guy poems are we reading now, awaking days later semi-nude in the pixie ring? It's sad that marijuana never kills you, but forethought let us model the practice. Take a weird preteen gust nap and cook a tart from the puffy mess that results. Dig, if you will, the picture of my granddad not dispatching a chicken. The sweat of your body covers me. Can you stick it backwards in your mouth and light the filter? I'm feeling rangy. In my family lore, he singled out one that was sickly and must. The procedure I've used is called N plus lazy, and its gap is the topic that gets wasted at capture. And he named it Sufjo, Bulgarian for dried out. And he spared it always. And what's wrong with your face? I hope he still likes me, and apparently the bird lived for a long time. I repeatedly come across allusions to the dire importance of consummating the marriage, crammed inside my voluntarily clamped bola. Now picture yourself in that distance, total depression wear, right? Is that a detail you'd use? I remember when I thought concentration might feel good, but it's just a maximal state riding Skeletor cattle. It rose and you jabbed in your standard, and while it's wicked pisser to see you there, it's also just kind of gross. It takes a special kind, got the word there, previous draft. It takes a special, transformed man to engage in agro forms of nautical tourism, woody spores growing on the crest of your bulk till you'll need a whole group of attendants just to shave down your clank. How I wish that could be my body, required to function enough to stop harm on its own free of struts. The average goat loin rings and goes hard. Masturbation is the devil's typewriter I bequeath to the suckerfish teething at my foot, making smells in too deep before that, ritually stuffing my husband. Lately I've been living in an allocation pool, requesting hotches for a teaser period, a racy photo of whom you'll receive when our carrier pigeon falls next from the sky, with zipper trouble down to its ass bones. Too bad. Maybe a dead link sufficed, mistakenly believing I'm more meaningful, gravid, and free, yet holding ranks in that vision, equal to 3 birds rubbed wrong in a duffel bag, then physically eaten as goods, yet I dilate for a season in tribute regardless, Turn to the funnies and suddenly, voila, we're all public servants, saving dirty children while slugging you over the head with the gala you're missing. We start out by asking how you make decisions, then sack the Bradvaldis with my dorsal horn, get the Fisher King to backlight our privates, for my Commonwealth also shall suffer as I do. Okay, so raise the roof. Your replacement children keeping 8th grade in line, yet gleanable by the special demurrer, stamped on cassette as a must-have optional feature while I buff and shatter the diurnal globe. Sorry, I couldn't hold out. I dropped it while I was pretending it was part of my crotch. Good night, jerk. That sounds like me. My phone bags have landed in a dog run and froze, and it's too bad, but that's the perfect exhibit of our virtues and truth making out by the lean-to. That was us once, kind of. An O'Reilly Lufa scenario, i.e. is it crunch time or go time? The sex doll comes alive and suggests you publish, but that rock's too hard to have actually happened. I sat him on a porch and I ran instead, not a problem, but a form of umbrage. One moron can remind you of a whole family, but would you buy up their mulch and then haunt me? Sounds like a complex I might slabber right now. It built team skills to view a marsh full of nationals in line taking a bunch of shots up my business. And how would you perform in that climate, really? I've tried mingling. Cisco put their shuck on my fingers. In my county, we only speak junior high French, and it's entirely normal/normal. Not much engaged by much else lately, I resort to memories to fill gaps in discussion. Puked on the float representing my village, then debuted as a centaur, retooled for experimental audience punishment, because you all must have done something wrong. No climax or lesson to imbue, really. Just get the hand truck and sachet on your Lincoln. Good morning, buckskin. What's spelled in my grove? This poem could use some Spanish vocab words or plant and animal extinction statistics. It is fun to get shot in your bunk by the elderly, defaulted to crushing at the Amway mixer, to be the tugboat in a batter avalanche. Avuncular as a sweat stain becomes your signal that we're the wrong fool to protect for decades. Carving a pumpkin out of a boy in a bulkhead, jargon shelled gelatinous from its skeleton, for my theories can penetrate vegetable matter, and that made me a babe before it made me unsuitable. Stapled my breath to my panhandle lung, unceremoniously doubled. So let's pretend we're broiling a goat, slung with decorated bone net spacers, juking all that honey into dirty buckets till we're like, golly, what happened here? A unique effort to proxy the tilth, but a pretty standard job interview icebreaker. Printouts of me sucking on it for like 8 months, produced as further revelation, he says, that those were indeed Dad's fingers we baked into the rawhide that evening. Not cool. Can't trust fall your way out of that once revealed. Trainee baby skin snuggling the monitor, which was as awful as it sounded, yes, but made it easy to blow out the pulp. Up on the ladder, new certitude. I don't know facts, but might get fed through a ricer. Just a local youth pastor getting rescued at a coke melodrama. You assimilate a bull-like strength and it erupts on my colleagues. Yo, boundaries. Her way of invoking lets me break on my rival. I was so gnarly and I drove my dad's car and I non-rinsed the stump and I sued healthy babies. There's a life after this one, but it's not eternal. And I'm going to need that money there. Sometimes I think a closed mind might be better. In an unguarded moment, I've named my doll Bruce, and the old folks yell, they've won a lot of sucks tonight, bunching margs with prophage yield, pretty much a 10-gallon hat to nowhere, pushing its sausage-sized fingers into what was your faceplate. Yeah, I'd call my parents too, but I kind of like the rapid Punic overlay here. There's always some kind of fog above the airport. Your flight is canceled, and you end up moving there and having your kids. Ready or not, they're in charge and keep losing and treat your values porn collection style and thrive. Past Michael is here to kill future Michael, pitching dogs at the Chaucer party, but with what we just did in the shower, you owe me. Note everything. Everything is the worst. I see you have the mark of the Hydra upon you. I laughed, I cried, I died inside. I saw Dave Pajo run across the lawn in sweatpants, hands in pockets, and oh, baby, it was not a dream. It was a drug bust. Thank you.